Welcome to another evening building the jail wagon. So then the only person who's talked so far in the comments is me and Don. And I see we had three, now we have one. But so it was rather interesting during the week because these were curved way out during at the end of the last stream. And as the week progressed, they've curved further and further in, which is good because there will be a brace that goes inside there, and setting these on here about like that, I believe they will line up. I've already looked. They'll line up pretty well. So they'll go on there, something like that. But the book actually said, let's see, while waiting for the parts to dry, assemble the door, kickboard, and footrest. Could have gone further last night. Somebody beat you up, Howard? Who beat you up? Let us know. We'll hunt them down. We'll hunt them down and tickle them with a wet feather. So we've got the door here, and this is I believe this is supposed to be the outside of the door. We've got the door, we've got the step kickboard, and the footrest. These are the pieces we're going to be working on right now. Let me cut them out of here. And this stream, I was reading further in the instructions, depending on how quickly we get to the roof is how long the stream is going to go, because the roof sections, when they get glued together, it says to let them sit for 24 hours minimum. Hey Keith, welcome. And so it's one of these things of, if I'd have read that earlier, I'd already glued the roof pieces. So we've got the that's the footrest, and this is the kickboard. Is that Babe? Who's Babe? I'm confused. We'll go ahead and get these pieces out as well. And it's not an abnormal thing for me to be confused. Ah, Babe Ruth, I see. It could be. And if anybody's interested, I finished the Alien today. I'll be honest, the build was a lot more fun than the finished product actually is. It's not bad, but I've had a lot more fun with the build. Okay, this is interesting. Got the right piece. The kickboard must go on like that, or the part, because the nail holes don't match. Come on, focus. Let's see. Hey, Jody. Thank you, Dash. Appreciate it. Alex here, just hopping on during his bit upset. 2 co-workers asked for days I wanted off back in December. So unfortunately, unless I quit around that time, I can't go back to Wisconsin. this year. Okay. It's okay. Going Thanksgiving then, man. Let's see. Howdy, Stephen. Welcome. And I've been dashed. He says to hit the like button or he'll come to your house with a pile of cow poo on your doorstep. Well, there you go. Indeed, I have been dashed. I appreciate it, Howard. Okay. Back to where I was. So we've got that piece for there. Then we've got these pieces for the door. And it seems like, let me look at the cover. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Of course not. It seems like that when the, okay, yeah. This centerpiece will come out of the door. I thought it might. Get the rest of this cut loose. Wanted to go down to EAA Air Venture Show like you always do around this time. At least it gives me little to prevent me from finding a new job, and hopefully that doesn't repeat next year. Absolutely. The EAA Air Venture, I think that's a fly-in, isn't it? I used to live in Wisconsin, so I know a little bit about this stuff. And so let's get the footrest parts here. And looking at these pieces as I've been going, they're all going to need a little bit of sanding on the edges. Not a whole lot. Not even enough to really knock all the char off, but a little bit. And they live stream a whole week's worth of air shows. Very cool. Excuse me. I have not yet thrown them away, but I think it's almost time for this sanding stick to go away. I've been using that one for a long, long time. So actually, let me see. Oh, I put those parts away too soon. I forgot two pieces. So we got the upper door brace. We need the two lower door braces. Would not do to have a weak door. We have to arrest Dash and throw him in jail. He would escape. Just double check. So that is, I think there's different widths. Just a hair different. Okay. Start with the door. It's where you can either drive or fly there. I've seen people bring RVs and camp under the wings of personal aircraft. Looking forward to tomorrow's stream. Same here. But I have a ton going on. Matter of fact, out of the 12 kits that I've got actively going, the Alien was not one that I was counting because I hadn't done anything on it in 2 months. A little bit tricky with these being balsa rather than the stronger wood. Got to make sure I do not break the pieces as I'm sanding a little bit of char down. And I don't have, like I said, I don't have to sand the char down so much as just rough it a little bit so that the paint will adhere. I also want to make sure I get rid of the connection points. this on here like that. And yes, I am using a sanding stick that I got in a book nook. I mean, why not? And those are the pieces I'm talking the most. You can see those two spots where it was connected. Oh, I'm sure Howard has more builds going than I have. And those are just the ones that I've worked on in the last 2 weeks. I actually have 21 models going. So, Donnie, your fly's here again. I killed one last week. I'll kill him this week. But yeah, I've got all these models going and not getting anything done on a daily basis a lot of times. Worked out in the yard some today, pulled weeds, found a friend for Ian, posted his picture in Discord. Donnie ain't here to save his fly. I'm going to be very selective on how I sand this. Because it's supposed to, it has one laser etch line there on the bottom. You can barely see it. It's supposed to have another one up here. I'm wearing shorts and they don't have flies. It's the little beasties that are flying around here right now. It's that time of the year. And I am slowly working on the Constitution. More ribs are still going on. I'm not going to have a repeat of what happened with rib 5, which rib 5 is slightly askew. So I want to make sure that I don't do that. It's kind of interesting too that they had put the nail heads on both the oh, you know what? Okay. That's why they do that. The nails they put on the all the way through so that you see them going, so you'll see them on the other side. I was about to glue that on wrong. We get a couple of clamps here. Don't need a pet chameleon to be my fly catcher. I got me. I am pretty good about catching flies. There's a lot of dried glue there. Same thing over here. Line it up. I'll sand it, do a little bit of sanding on it as needed. Biggest thing is it needs to line up on the edges and on the top. Oh, Alec wants to know if he can go home. No, sir. Well, you can go home anytime you want. It's just that you have to deal with the consequences. Here's his top and bottom, aligning the door edges. I'm just looking at these to make sure that they are correct because they're slightly different sizes. I think I'm going to put the larger one on the bottom. And I understand, Alec. I worked in retail for a while too, but I had a blast with it. Hell, I worked in retail when I retired from the Air Force. I was a, forget what they call them, but one of the lower managers in the front of the store. That's just checking to see what my phone just rang for. Nothing really. A game that I play a little bit of is saying, hey, by the way, this is going on. You want to play? Not right now. Don't bother me, kid. So I'm lining these up. This one, actually. Lining it up with the nail heads that are on the other side. So you can see there's the nail heads and the other board is on the other side directly. Should be able to take this one off and these off. It is wood glue. It dries really pretty quick. Slightly crooked, but that's okay. It looks like that's the way it's going to stay. So there's the door. Set that right there. Next, we're going to do the kickboard. Again, sanding the char off. One of these days, I will buy a little shop vac for here. I have a lot of, I have a large shop vac across the room, but it's a little bit big to be trying to use during the during a stream or on the desk. So Alex said, okay, I was going through Facebook and an anime about being reincarnated as vending machine. He's getting a second season on July 2nd. It's a good show, but still, yeah, that's a little bit off. Good evening, Kenneth. Glad you could make it. Sitting here watching favorite YouTube mentor who I'm looking up to in inspiration wise like. That is correct. I am your mentor. And Jody said, there he is. Kenneth. Hey, Kenneth. But yeah, I'm your mentor and I can fully agree with your philosophy of whoever you happen to be watching at the time is your favorite YouTuber at the time. I appreciate any viewers. Everybody's saying hello to Kenneth. I finally got a little bit more work done on the victory section. Speaking of which, I was watching the video today for the victory, and I was like, wait a minute, it's not the guy with the hairy knuckles. Where'd he go? I'm just comparing size on these. They look like they can go on either side. The guy with the hairy knuckles, I think, is a better builder than the one they had do stage 84. Because, and I mentioned this on Discord, he built one side of one of the launches, or every launch, he did all the planking on one side first and then the other side, which is really good to make your boat twist. All right, Jody, I'll see you when you come back, or talk to you when you come back, or read your chat, something like that. But no, I found it interesting that he was doing that. And I found it even more interesting that I come across that video, got to that video after Dom found that his boat has twisted. Not really twisted, but the nose is shifted. The front end is shifted a little bit. I understand his disappointment. Hey, Donnie, how's it going? Maybe he shaved his knuckles there. That could be. I understand Dom's disappointment, but I also know that's what makes modeling exciting. It's figuring out how to fix things that have gone wrong. Oh, it does say to round those corners. Oh, never mind. They're already rounded. Oh, wow. Stay safe, Donnie. I understand those storms. When that weather came through here, it wasn't really bad. You know, we had a little bit of rain, a little bit of thunder last night. Not too bad, though. What makes what modeling exciting is resin. Yes, yes, indeed. Donnie is, I don't know, polluted, stuck. He'll be forever 3D printing. I have not caught that bug yet. And I say yet because Donnie's going to try and make me catch it. But on the other hand, I have so many models that I'm behind on. And Keith is right. Stay safe. And it's just been spitting there, raining a little bit. And wood is good. You can't, there is that. You cannot 3D print wood. Although there is wood resin. Maybe. Okay, let's sand these down a little bit. It was kind of funny too, because the boat that Dom is getting back onto, I found his build log by just Googling the boat. There is that, Donnie. If you start to 3D print, you have an unlimited supply of kits, but I already have pretty much an unlimited supply of kits. More than most of us could build in a lifetime. There's wood filament, Alex says. Never heard of it, and I don't see how it would work because wood tends to burn when you heat it up, not melt. Those are good. Hey, I have
knock.
Hey, Ken, welcome.
How's it going?
Good.
Sorry I'm late. I was having supper.
That's okay. You're allowed to eat at least once.
And Donnie, stay safe in your storm there. I was watching just a little bit, just before I came on here.
Yeah, and I know how those storms can be. we didn't have one recently, but the one back in March sucked out loud, and
Yeah.
it has been humid as hell here.
Ooh. Yeah, not good.
Although, how humid is hell?
Very, very good question. Let's hope we never find out.
Yeah, hope not. But if I do, I'll save everybody I know a place at the bar.
All right.
And of course, you know what they'll have at the bar.
Well, I was hoping for cold drinks, but I don't think so.
No, it'll be boiling water because it's hell, man. Not even alcohol.
And it won't even be clean water.
No. Sewer water. Yummy. Don't have the shotgun hail yet. Good.
Yes, you don't want that.
Yeah, I advise not getting shotgun hail. It's not a fun day. Matter of fact, we're still waiting for them to get our stuff in so that they can start on the house. I expect that they quoted us July, August time frame. I think we're going to get our house done early July, not late.
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah. Unless, of course, new storms come rolling through, I'd rather have the house not be fixed yet if we get new storms.
True, yes.
Would prefer to have the house only fixed once. Okay, there's that one. I have this. The crud from Wonderfest is gone, except for that hanging on part where you cough just that little bit.
Your voice sounds much better today than it did on Sunday.
Thank you. I feel much better. And I think what also helped was I got out in the yard today and pulled weeds.
Oh, a lot of fresh air then. That's good.
Yep.
How's Andrea doing?
She's doing okay.
Oh, good.
Still waiting to see the doc and see what, what, if anything, they can find. And no, Donnie, I do not want to test the durability. Not this year.
No.
I want it to be brand new for a couple of years at least. And I'll show, in case anybody did not see it on Discord, I found a friend while I was out there. Let me hold this up. Hang on, let me look at it. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't throw your phone and run.
Well, no, I took the picture. What was funny was I kept seeing him, and every time I'd move over a little bit, he'd move over, and so I kind of put my hand towards him to get out of the way, and he was just hanging out.
Donnie says brown recluse.
Nope, wolf spider.
Oh, there you go. And hello, Eric.
We've had some people mistake them, people that were here doing housework for us, mistake a spider like that as a brown recluse and tell Andrea that it was brown recluse. And I'm like, no, that's a wolf spider. Those are good spiders. That if I thought it was brown recluse, it wouldn't be anymore. How about an agreement that you try 3D printing when we've tried? Donnie tries building a wooden ship. Could go there. That would be interesting.
I keep saying the only thing I would care to do right now for 3D printing would be if I were to do filament printing.
Yeah, I would consider that.
Just the resin 3D printing I find looks so nice, but it just looks like there's so much involved with it and so much extra stuff you got to do and the cleanup and everything else.
Yeah. Oh, beauty. Hopefully that comes through. I finally got around to painting that.
Oh, looks nice.
Oops. A little bit far down. Let me move this up. That is fantastic.
It is. That was mighty fine work there, Jody.
Uh-huh. And Donnie does say he built a wood book nook. He did.
He did.
And what's funny is this here, I actually have a couple of them sitting here, is nothing more than it's a Glade oil infuser. The package. I cut the flaps off and I painted it, graded it, and that looks so awesome in there. I'll have to re-glue it in there, and then I'll work something else out for the power supply. But that is so cool.
If it was look more metallic, it looked like it was like some 1960s hero's belt buckle.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, you got to remember, it's an ancient medallion instead. So the look I was going for with that was kind of like stone.
Oh, okay, yeah. And Donnie says that looks awesome. Keith says it looks good.
Filament printing is more touchy than resin printing, really. Thank you, Keith and Donnie. I channeled my inner Jody a little bit. Okay, so glue the end-shaped brace on there, rear the kickboard, flush it to the edges, glue the two outboard braces, making sure they're not. Okay. I went ahead and did the next page because I knew I had pictures. So the next thing it wants me to do is take these two roof boards and glue them together. Glue them together, making sure to align the laser head pattern, the laser etch nail pattern. But what they also, where was it? What they also don't tell you is that they don't line up perfect.
Oh.
They're really close, but you can see the nail heads are a little bit off, which would be normal. And they want you to glue them together like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a production out of this just because I want this to match up right. Donnie says resin printing for the most part just works. Filament printing requires more fiddling to get right.
But the fiddling wouldn't bother me too much, I guess. Once you kind of got it, you got it, I guess. But it's just the whole thought of the resin and having to deal with curing it and everything.
Oh no.
But I have to agree, like the resin printing looks, much better. Your result is always much better, I find. Sounds like Buck ran off.
I did.
He did? Okay. How are you making out, Donnie, on those parts for the Reliant?
I had put the press and seal back.
Oh, okay. You got to get that.
Yep. He says he's slowly getting the Ender 3 dialed in.
Buck's running away from a spider?
No, I'm running away from the stream. Eric, clamp yourself. No, actually, it was whenever I get a chance, and I don't do it, but every year or so, because once I get the weeds out of the rocks, they're good for most of the year. It's really kind of neat to get down on the rocks as close as you do to really get the weeds out.
Right.
Because it's a completely different world.
Do you have one of those little kneeling pads or anything?
I do.
Yeah.
I absolutely do. I couldn't do it if I didn't.
Yeah. Being in the artillery for like gun salutes, We usually do a kneeling gun drill, like so you're like kneeling on some like asphalt parking lot. And for the first number of years doing that, they'd never give us a kneeling pad, and then finally, after so many years, they gave us a single kneeling pad because you're just kneeling with one knee down.
Yeah. They go, okay, your knees are ruined now. Now we'll help you out.
Yeah. Plus, my left knee's really bad from police work, getting in and out of a vehicle constantly.
Yeah.
You're always twisting to get that leg out and everything.
Well, my right knee is the one that I really screwed up by. Having it face the knee actually went the wrong direction.
Ooh, yeah, never good.
Yeah. But I did ask Andrea after when she saw me, she's like, you're going to the urgent care. And I said, do I have to?
Yeah. Like in the artillery too, when we were in the field, a lot of times, especially in the early days, like the most of the 90s and stuff, we would come into action, and for us it was like you want to get into action as quick as you can, so we would jump out of the back of the truck. Well, the truck towing the howitzer was taller than I am. I'm 6'2", so it's probably about 6'4" or so. And all you're jumping down a lot of times on the uneven ground, and I've seen friends of mine who blew their knees out completely. I twisted my knees a few times that where it hurt, but we had one female, and she ended up having to go for some serious knee surgery. And she was short. She would have been like 5 foot, probably five and a half, or just under 5.5 feet tall. So it's a little bit further down for her to jump.
Yeah, well, and it's like F-16 mechanic. You know how I go down ladders? I go up the ladder facing the ladder.
Yep.
I go down the ladder facing away from the ladder.
Oh, okay.
I do that on regular household ladders too. You just get, after going up and down the ladder enough times, you're like, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and cruise down this thing.
For some reason today, I was remembering back to, we had a CO, commanding officer, he did not like me at all. But aside from that, I remember this one time he had us all formed up. It was in a winter exercise, and he had us all formed up, and he gave us this big speech about how we're all expendable, and that we should just live with that idea. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what a morale building speech. Like, yes, no wonder you were chosen to be our commanding officer. Oh, what a guy.
Oh yeah. Reminds me of when I was in Korea. And don't get me wrong, I think this captain was said the absolute best thing anybody could ever say in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
There was this female airman who could not get her mask to seal.
Yep.
And so he looked at her, and he couldn't get her masks, or she couldn't get her mask to seal because of her hair.
Oh, okay.
He took one look at her when she was whining about it and said, "It's okay," because her mask kept fogging up. He said, "It's okay. After the first attack, you'll be dead anyway. It won't matter." I heard him say that. I looked at him, and he was my hero for that day.
Yeah.
Because, I've known a lot of people throughout the years who have played exercises as an exercise.
Yes.
I've never played an exercise as an exercise, except for after I got killed. I'm like, okay, I'm dead. Now I just don't care. But you play it like you're actually going through it. Otherwise, it's worthless training.
Well, exactly.
There we go.
And as a soldier, you realize that yes, you are expendable. You don't need your CO lining everybody, forming everyone up, and giving them a big speech about how we're all expendable, and you should just live with that fact. It's like, so it makes you think. In his mind, are we expendable? Is he not worried about us either? Because he should be worried about us at all times. We are his responsibility.
Hey, Gordon.
Hey, Gordon. I think my favorite exercises, though, whenever I would join up with other units to be enemy force, where they put a call out for somebody to be enemy force, and we'd go out there and be their enemy. Those were you'd die a lot, but those were awesome.
Yeah. Well, we had not a captain. We had my first base, the not senior enlisted advisors. Those didn't come along until later. Our chief, though, in the maintenance unit was Chief Killian, also known as Killer. And my introduction to this guy was like, I don't remember if it was Christmas, whatever it was. It was at a party, though. And he said, it was the female airman, shorter or taller than Donnie. I don't know. But he said there in his little speech, basically, because everybody was like, yay, Germany, we can go buy clocks and wine and blah, blah, blah. This is so great. And he was a buzzkill because this was pre-wall coming down. So we were still in the middle of the Cold War.
Right.
And he goes, we're not here to buy. Actually, I don't know if I could do this. We're not here to buy cuckoo clocks and drink wine. We're here to kill people and break their stuff.
Yeah.
I loved that guy.
One of the best officers I ever had. I don't know if he ever reached past lieutenant, but or as we call it lieutenant, but you guys lieutenant. But
yeah,
he used to be an enlisted. So, and then he ended up going over to the officer side, and because he knows what it was like to be screwed over as an enlisted, he was a great officer.
Yes, a lot of times they are. He like what I like to call that is crossed over to the dark side.
Yeah. Actually, I rented a room from him for a year.
I actually have a funny story regarding that, and I'm pretty sure you weren't that guy. I rented my house to that guy.
Okay.
And after a year, it was a good thing that he decided he was going to move out because I wasn't going to rent to him anymore. When you go to visit your house in Arizona and they kept the dog outside in the backyard, which that's their prerogative, but the dog had decided that he needed a cave out of the sun, so he dug it underneath my patio. And the kid had taken a butcher knife and had hacked on some of my deciduous, leafy trees in the middle of the desert. And so I was like, dude, you really, I can't believe you treated my house this way. But justice is a dish best served cold. I agree with Klingons, because he went to, and it was funny because I had moved out of the low-income housing apartments in El Mirage into this house. I bought the house from there, and they called me up one day, and they said, "Are you the landlord of so and so?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "They said, well, he gave you as a reference. What would you? How would you describe him as a renter?" And I said, "Got a minute?"
Yeah. See, I just had a little basement apartment him and his wife lived upstairs, and I had like maybe half the basement. So
Yeah. Well,
wow.
it was funny because the kid saw me at work a couple of days later, and he's like, "What did you tell them?" I said, "The truth, dude. You were supposed to hook me up." I said, "You rented my house. You used a knife against my trees. Think about it. What kind of a review would you give yourself?"
Alec, lieutenant is the based on the British pronunciation, and Canada being a Commonwealth country. I would assume all Commonwealth countries use the term lieutenant, and where the Americans use lieutenant because that's kind of spelled like, that's what it looks like it's spelled like. So
Yeah,
I don't know what the traditional lieutenant. I don't know if that's from a different language originally, like if it's originally French origin or not.
we call, depending on the rank of the lieutenant, the second lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
They are all thrust, no vector.
Yeah.
And it's funny because as a senior NCO, it was my job to teach young lieutenants how to be officers. That was one of the things I was expected to do.
Right.
And most young officers realize that your senior NCOs are your best friends because you want to make sure that they teach you how to do things right. You don't, if they say, do this, you might say, but why? That's fine. Go ahead and say, but why? But don't go, but why? Or don't not say, but why? And just say, no, we're going to do it this way. Because many senior NCOs, this one included, will go, okay, it's your funeral, and I'll attend. And they get themselves in trouble if they don't listen. If they go, well, I'm the officer here, so you need to do what I say. Okay.
No, there was yeah, it was you could tell it was a good officer if they're willing to listen to their NCOs.
Yep. Well, and it was funny because when we were funny that I'm hanging out with a Canadian because it was in Canada. You know where Cold Lake is, right?
Yeah, I've been there several times. Well, actually, only twice. So yeah.
Well, they hold an international exercise there. I don't know how many countries show up there.
Maple Leaf?
No, what was it? Maple Flag.
Maple Flag, that's it. Sorry. Yeah, Army, not Air Force. Sorry.
But it was funny because I went up to Maple Flag and we had a problem with one of our jets. We were what was known as a rainbow TDY because we had our jets from blue section and there were jets from red section. We should all be able to be a great big happy family. No, not so much, because we're rival squadrons at home.
Yeah.
But we will work together. And it was really funny because the expediter on my shift, the expediters, was an engine guy and there was an engine guy and an electrics guy. Neither of them avionics. Neither of them know anything about my avionics systems.
Right.
But their guy on day shift said, "This is what they need to do." And I'm like, I was like, okay, well, fine. I can't remember the guy's name, but I was like, I don't agree. I'm going to go out there, run it up, and I'm going to troubleshoot and do my job. And so I went out to the jet and I ran it up and I said, nothing's wrong with it. there was one test that you had to do to really prove there was nothing wrong with the jet, with the system. It was a minor system.
Right.
So I got in the truck and they said, and I ran it up after I ran it up and I said, okay, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I ran it up and it works as advertised. I say we don't sign it off. We write it up for a hold fly, which means you hold the write up. You don't sign it off. It's a code 2, which is a flyable write up, and you don't sign it off. You ask for an in-flight ops check and a hold fly. And they said, "Good night, Keith."
Night, Keith. And that's what they said.
They did. No, it was funny because they said no. Well, and I can't remember his name. He was the heat up in red, as far as everybody was concerned. I had never met him, but after being told that I have to use what he said or do what he said instead of my own job, I had very little respect for it. And it was funny because they said, well, this is what he said we need to do. And I said, okay. And I said, it's good. I'm willing to, write it up for in-flight ops check, let it be. They said, no, this is what he said to do. I said, okay. Raise and tilt the seat. It was a big part behind the seat. Raise and tilt the seat and everything else. I'll change it out and all this. And I ran it up, and after swapping parts and didn't change anything. So we swapped the other part back in because we were TDY, not a whole lot of parts.
Right.
And they said, so what do you want to do now? I said, no, what do you want to do? And they looked at me, they're like, what? And this truck is full of airmen, avionics airmen. I said, you told me what to do. You said do what your day shift did after I told you the jet was good. You took it out of my hands and told me that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You tell me what you want to do. And they said, okay, we'll write it up whole flight, which I originally wanted to do. What was funny was after the end of the shift, when everybody went home, we went back to the dorms. They had me stay behind, and they chewed me out and said, blah, 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 you're trying to be, you may have made yourself look cool in front of the airmen and all that. I looked at them, I said, I didn't try and make myself look cool at all. I was blunt honest. You took away my troubleshooting, said I didn't know what, basically told everybody I don't know what I'm doing. You said as an engine troop and electrics troop who don't know anything about my systems, that what your guy on day shift said was what we have to do, regardless of what we found. You want me to do my job? I'll do my job. Don't tell me that I don't know how to troubleshoot, because I will stop working and I will do exactly what you tell me.
Yeah.
I can be a bitch, you know that? But it was kind of funny because the next time something like that happened, I said, okay, this is what I found. This is what I think we need to do. They said, okay. And even better was the fact that the pilot signed it off the next day.
Nice.
The pilot said, there ain't nothing wrong with this. Because the problem is we have pilots who get a whole lot of things that they have to hang on, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'm just looking at this piece because just the way they put the pieces, they actually run into each other. But you get the pilots who's, I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
That's okay. I looked at a model, it screwed me up.
I was gonna say with our I've noticed in the past, 5 to 10 years or though, Canada switched with the Army and I want to say the Navy, back from the same rank looking insignia as the U.S. to now back to the British style with the pips.
Oh,
And
the British.
And I haven't gone back to look at them to see what's what it now.
I love the British rank for the RAF.
Mm-hmm.
The lower ranks are propellers.
Yeah.
That is just so cool. Pilot wrote it up. Oh no, pilot signed it off actually. You know, and it, I know what it was. It was actually kind of really cool. It was vindicating for me that he signed it off.
Yeah. Earlier we were talking about names there, and name of a guy I worked with in the police. I loved his last name was Massacre.
Was what?
Massacre.
Oh, good name.
Yeah. And I see you got one of Donnie's flies visiting.
Uh-huh.
Our dispatch center was having fun with him the one time he went on a relief assignment, and he was working with some guy. It was like an Italian last name, like Jen something. So they were calling them. Donnie says, "Hey, Fred." They were calling them on dispatch, massacre and genocide.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, but I had Massacre as a partner for a while there. He was, we were a small detachment, so for a while there we were on the same shifts for, I don't know, probably 6 months or to a year. And then they'd shift them around so you work with different people.
.5/16. Sorry, I'm measuring.
Nope, that's okay.
Now it was a lot of fun. Military is a lot of fun if you make it fun.
I had a lot more fun in the military than I did the police.
I can believe it.
So
because the police you're dealing with people on their worst day.
Yes, exactly.
Well, during the first exercise I was involved in, or one of the first ones, I rode in a truck with a guy that lived down the hall from me.
Yeah.
Martin Coy. And if you've ever, what is it? Ray Stevens, the Shriners Convention.
Yep.
There's a guy in there named Coy. And Marty loved that song. He identified with Coy.
Well, yeah, your name's in it.
Well, how'd you get that big motorcycle up on the high dive, Coy? But no, it was fun because Marty was a buck sergeant. I was a brand new A1C. And so he needed somebody to ride with him. And I rode with him on the night shift. And after the exercise, or after, exercise attacks, we would turn into meet one because we went out and picked up casualties.
Okay.
Well, it was funny because we would drive by shelters going, "Bring out your dead."
Donnie. I guess he's quitting the song. I think I've only heard the song maybe once or twice. I can't even really remember it. Quit revving it up. You better be at
the conclave tonight. Well, like I said, one of the best lines in that whole song Well, how'd you get that big motorcycle up on the high dive? I want to know that as well.
Yes.
Or actually one of his lesser known, but one of my favorite songs from him is Mississippi Squirrel Revival. The day that the world went berserk in the first self-righteous church. That should tell you everything right there. The first self-righteous church.
I'm just trying to think.
By the way,
The best Ray Stevens I know is the classic The Streak.
yeah.
I mean, I think most people have heard it.
Yep. By the way, I'm using my new toy. This is the little saw. Wow, my camera is dark. This is my little saw that I got.
Those are nice saws.
Oh yeah. And I don't know that I can ever figure out a way to damage a miter box that small.
Yeah. Did that come with the saw, or was that separate?
Well, it depends on where you buy it. I bought it at Micromark, which is where Keith suggested.
Right.
And it was 3 separate pieces: the handle, the saw blades, and the miter box.
Right.
And I'm putting the screw back. Putting the screw back in because there is a little piece here to let you make parts the same size.
Nice.
But like I said, came as 3 separate parts. And had I gone to Amazon instead, they had the 3 separate parts for total was like, as a set, total was like $3 cheaper.
Okay.
But more importantly, $8 in shipping less.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the sleepy little town of Pascagoula. Obviously, Donnie has listened to a little bit of Ray Stevens. And I skipped ahead on this, so I'm going to see if I can, because it says to, what the hell did I do? Did that wrong.
Definitely not the right length.
Definitely not the right length, and hopefully I won't need these because it's supposed to come 5/16 of an inch short of the top.
Right.
So let's see. Oh, right there. And of course I cut all of them that way. If it comes down to it, though, I will find a way.
Oh, look at that. Even Howard was even saying, Buck, stop for a minute.
What?
Yeah.
What, Howard? What?
And then he's like, oh, I guess I'll leave Buck and Ken
Don't
don't
leave.
want me.
Don't leave. We do want you here.
We just get caught up in telling stories and talking.
Exactly.
That's why he cuts pieces of wood the wrong length, because I distract him.
Yep. And well, see, and that's the thing, Ken. You and I, whether we're different branches and different countries, we're both prior military.
Yes.
And you know what happens when you get prior military together, right?
Just like Don said, squirrel.
Yes. I didn't read. What didn't I read?
Let's go back and see. Stop for a minute. And then what do you say before that?
The way I like to put it, though, Ken, is military. When the military gets together, we swap lies.
Oh, yeah. I don't see it. Unless you had said something that was had a word that might have been possibly seen as a swear word.
Trying to tell me to stop and wipe my chest off.
You don't listen to the privates.
From a distance, sounds like you said Howard says Buck doing butt stuff. No.
That makes me think I should if I go into I gotta turn my volume down. If I go into YouTube and reopen the stream, it should show me if something was held as a comment, maybe.
Just don't cross the streams, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Look, there's the correct mark, the one that I didn't use.
Oh, well, look at that.
I hope these pieces are not, well, actually, let me see. Hope they're not extremely important. That I need many, many more of them. But in case I do, I have some.
Good. You know what, though? I'm just thinking Donnie would have seen if something was blocked, too, because he's watching the stream, so...
Yeah.
And he's got rights on yours.
Donnie has the power.
He has the power.
The power of hoodoo? Hoodoo? Do what?
You do.
You remind me of a man. What's funny is so many people remember that bit from Labyrinth.
Yeah, that's where I remember it from.
Well, it was, I forget the name of the movie, but it was from a movie in the 60s.
Okay.
And it did not have David Bowie in tight-ass pants.
I would hope not. Like Don says, measure once, cut twice.
Exactly. I did measure once, and I did cut twice.
Now it's all good. Oh, there you go. Donnie says there was one comment blocked.
Oh.
Okay, there we go. Maybe I didn't see it because I just reopened YouTube and it was probably just didn't load it for me because it's not current.
So let me see. Let me slap some glue in there. Knock that wall off.
As one does.
Push that in. Come on, get in there.
Donnie says, should I let it through? He said bees and boobs. Or
Beelzebub?
and boobs.
What?
He said BS and boobs. So he's using all the good words.
Yes. I'm gonna, let's see, is that is square, so I'm gonna just let it sit there for a couple of minutes.
Well, I mean, it's up to you if you want to let it through because it's your stream.
Let it through. I'm not scared. You know, and that's the thing. It's for me because I'm a bitch. Howard, I'm not a bitch. Well, maybe I am.
You're a bastard.
Bastard.
You bastards. Said, okay, you asked for it. Now, does it show up now where he says it, or does it show up above where he had said it? That's the question.
It will never show up here.
No?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Once another comment has come in behind it, it never shows up in who's it in StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
That's way too much glue. Way too much.
Was it before or after the lieutenant thing? Donnie. He says it's in StreamYards. He says he's looking at it.
What? Oh, it
We're in
does pop
StreamYards?
in up above?
That's what he said.
That's odd. Don is watching me do this with a grin on his face because he's like, good. He needs to make a mess of this thing.
I think maybe he means he probably meant YouTube, because we'd see him if he was in StreamYards.
Yep.
He'd be here with us. Okay, let's see here. Da, 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 da.
Let me see. Nope, wrong button, wrong place. Okay.
Says no, I see it on StreamYard.
But you're not in StreamYard.
We're in StreamYards. We don't see you in StreamYards.
Going up, going up, going up.
Kind of what comments were near it when you let it through, or where it's sitting now? He's sticking his tongue out.
I'm just looking. I don't see it.
I see stop for a minute.
I see stop for a minute twice.
Yeah. Yeah, Howard, we're trying to find it. we're putting in some effort here. But
it's after the comment about privates.
Yeah. I'm not seeing it, but that's
I bet you it's in YouTube.
That's where I'm looking, is in YouTube, and I don't see it there, but that's just me.
Well, I'm looking on StreamYards.
Yeah. Da, 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 da. There's Gordon came in, yeah.
Ah.
Did you find it?
I did. It's directly after the one that said you don't listen to the privates. It says, yes, you had B % pound $sign on you. You are growing breasts. But in StreamYard, it just says that I said I'm a B.
Okay. All right, then. Yeah, he says, never mind. It was a joke.
Yeah. Howard lost a comment. He misplaced it. We tried to tell him it was over there. He didn't believe us. He threatened to leave.
Yeah, but we couldn't find it either. We had to have Donnie find it over there.
Yes. Oh, you know what? A smart person would also glue the bottom edge here.
Yeah, but do you qualify for that?
Maybe.
Because sometimes I don't.
Well, I just realized that I'm sitting here gluing these two side pieces, but nothing on the bottom.
Yes. Because the other day I painted up my chiller grills really nice on my Reliant, and then I tried to fill in all the seam lines around it, and then reprime it, and then I had to remask my entire chiller grills and repaint them. And I was like, I should have done the seam work first.
Yep.
And it wasn't even a lot of seam work, just a few little spots, right? They're sticking out. And I was like, I should have done that first. But now it's all done. It looks good.
Cool. I would worry about this excess glue in here, except for one thing. Jody says he wouldn't do the bottom edge. And Howard says to wipe my chest because I'm growing a breast. No, they've gotten smaller. Jody said he wouldn't do the bottom edge like I just did, but I'm doing it because I don't want the edge to pop off. You never want your edge to pop off.
Oh, I knew someone by the last name Popoff.
Was he Russian?
It was a she.
Ah.
But she was common law with a friend of mine. She was a friend of mine too. So,
Well, could be worse. I mean, she wouldn't have the last name, but there was a guy in the North Pole phone book, and I mentioned this before. There was a guy in the North Pole phone book when I went to college. Richard Flop a lot of it. That's the kind of name you just don't get away from.
In this province of Manitoba, up in like when I was still policing, there was you could still call the number because someone had it and it was an active phone number, was 8675309.
Jenny?
Yep. And all it would do is would pick up on like on an answering machine or whatever and would just play that song. So whoever had that number had a sense of humor.
Yes, absolutely. I was going to say that was somebody with a good sense of humor.
Yeah. So if you ever want to try it, it's area code 204 8 I was going to give my phone number. 204-8675309.
Wait, I think I have. No, I don't have your phone number. I was going to say I can give it out for you, Ken.
I've got your phone number. I could text you right now.
Matter of fact,
I have unlimited calling. Unlimited calling in Canada, US. They don't offer us the Canada, US, Mexico thing because we're not in the middle like you guys. Let's see here because I did text Jordan. There you go. There we go. Right here.
Bummer. I just Googled it and I don't find him.
What's that? The phone number?
No, the guy. The Richard Flop a lot of it.
Oh, okay. There we go. I just texted you.
Hey, that's somebody texted me.
I just said, hey, it's Ken.
Hey, Ken. Oh, look, spider. Now you did it.
Whoops, I did it again.
Well, you know why I say that.
Now you have my phone number?
Yeah.
Yeah, when everybody, when all the admins there posted their phone numbers during the Wonderfest, pre-Wonderfest thing, I grabbed everybody's numbers and put them on my phone because you never know.
Yeah, I did too.
I'd already previously given it to Todd because I figured it'd be good to at least have one person have my phone number just in case something would ever happen.
Yeah.
So now, I don't really care if you guys have my phone number. Not you, the audience. Sorry, guys. No offense.
You said give it to the audience? You got it.
No. Yes, it's 8675309.
Jenny.
Damn you, Tommy Two-Tone.
Jenny, I've got your number.
The wartime stories. I think I've seen some of that before, Alec. Saw your comment there, but we were talking about other stuff at the time, so and then I forgot to respond to you.
Yeah, I added it to the rotation of my watch later, but you got to remember, I'm a month behind. Wait. Donnie says, wow, Ken trusts us. Does he know what he's getting into? Donnie? I think he only sent it to me.
I only have a few people that I ever talked to, so worst case scenario, I'll change my phone number. Won't hurt my feelings any. I'll have to give my phone number out again to 4, 5, 6 people.
456 people have your phone number? Wow.
I hope not. It's 555-1212.
Let me think. 376-3671. Yeah. That was my phone number as a kid for many, many moons. 376 is Wasilla, Alaska. 3671 was our phone number.
Stephen, you got a good point there. Yes, it would cost you too much to ring me up from the UK. And then because of 8675309, Howard says, Ken, that sometimes my phone wants to change your name to Jenny. It was kind of funny though. You could be sure that new people who would come, like you get a new member in and be like, hey, yeah, you remember the song Jenny? Like 8675309, and like they'd be like, yeah, and they're like, okay, dial that number. So you'd have them dial it, and yeah, sure enough. And then like the last probably close to a year before I retired, when you call it now, it would just ring and hang up or whatever. Like it was a really bad recording, so it was probably an old machine that it was on, and so. But one of the towns we had just outside of our area, but not too far, like an hour and a bit down the road from us, was a town that had that 867 as their prefix for their phone numbers.
Okay. More pieces. This is still the easy part of the build. So the next thing...
That's good that it's an easier part.
Yeah. So the next thing it wants me to do is to glue two of these cross members, one in the back, one in the front, to continue to support this thing. And then...
Yes, please support your model. Just 50 cents a day. Could buy your model a decent meal and some clean
bottle of glue. But no, it'll support the walls. And then the roof stringers are right there. And see, that's why I like building models out of wood, because you see what the actual construction would be out of, or how it would be
right.
A lot of times. There's my baby sanding stick. I love my baby sanding sticks.
Yeah, Alec, if someone hops on, here's the stream later and decides to call that number, like I said, they're welcome to it. I don't know if the person ever re-updated, because when it kind of stopped working, we stopped calling. So not that we called every day or anything. We call maybe once every 4, 5, 6 months.
I'm trying to remember, there was a movie that they did a call line from one of the that was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And if you called, you'd get, it wasn't Ghostbusters, was something along that lines though.
Yeah.
If you called in, you'd get Venkman or something like that.
Cool. I know the 5551212 was used a number of times, but that was just technically that was information.
Yeah. By the way, Howard said, "Oh man, Buck dropped a nut. I heard his petrified ball." No, that was this. It's hanging on here, and I bumped it. It was not my petrified ball, and you could not have Donnie's fly at your work. He's here visiting me.
That's probably just his cousin or something.
Yeah.
That's his cousin Ted. That's not Frank himself.
Yeah. Wait, I thought, didn't we determine at one point that because he was the new guy that Alec was Frank?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Things people forget.
That's
You
that old
guys,
age sneaking up on us.
yep, good old CRS, which in the Air Force is actually a component repair squadron, but these days is known as can't remember stuff.
Howard says it was the actual number from the
That's,
Ghostbusters commercial. Okay.
that's what I thought. And if you called it, you would actually get them.
And I think the Ray Parker song, the music video with the song, actually on their billboard they use the 5551212.
It was kind of funny that Ray Parker Jr. actually got sued for that song.
Did he?
Yeah, it was. I think it was Huey Lewis, and I think his conjecture was that it sounded too much like "Power of Love."
Okay. Kind of like Queen suing Vanilla Ice.
Yeah,
For Under Pressure.
but that was actually a very direct quote.
Yes. And to listen to Vanilla Ice actually try to defend it. No, mine went bum 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 ba da bum bum. Like, dude, you're saying it the same way both times. Like,
Well, no, okay. So Eric says Donnie's got a fly, Ian's got ants, Buck's got spiders, Ken has a house hippo, Jordan has a cat house. What does Todd, Donnie, and Keith have?
well, I'm sorry to tell you, Eric. I know I've mentioned this before on streams. My house hippo passed away a number of years ago, but
Oh
I do have a
no,
house moose. His name's Leonard.
I got a pug. You're in the room with me. And Murphy's upstairs. Okay, for those of you playing along on the home version of the game, you need to make sure that you clear out these gaps. Because the stringers are going to come through here.
Oh, Eric, I could not say if my house hippo was tasty or not. Do you know how small a house hippo is? They are extremely small. I mean, they eat like crumbs from your toast. That's how small they are. Whereas the house moose is just a regular sized moose that just happens to be living in your house. Donnie says, "There's a home version. I want it."
Oh, Donnie, that's very close to saying, I want a wooden kit.
Yeah. That's exactly what the home game is, Donnie.
And wooden kit means Donnie would learn about the wonders of wood.
Actually, if you do watch the original house hippo video, it does show you where house hippos are located, and it does go a little bit into the northeastern United States. So if you're in the northeastern United States, not too far from the Canadian border, you may have house hippos.
That's almost like you might be a redneck.
Yeah.
So I have to show our pug.
Cute.
Well, what's funny is he looks, when we got him, Andrea got him, I don't know where, but when we got him, before Murphy started getting old and turning gray, he looks exactly like Murphy did as a puppy. Pugs are the cutest little dogs. And they always look at you like you did something wrong.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Jody's comment there, and just in my mind wonders. He said there should be a wooden model kit of Buck, and all I could think of was like one of those giant popsicle sticks with googly eyes on it, and like pipe cleaner arms. And this thing, here's my wooden model of Buck.
I have a cat too. Everybody loves the cat.
Yes, the waving cat.
Ian. Yes, the waving cat. Except Ian. Ian hates the waving cat.
Doesn't somebody else too? Is it Eric or Chase that doesn't like it?
I think it's Chase.
Yeah. Donnie says, that's why I live in Tennessee. Why? Because you don't like house hippos? And pit bulls are the cutest big dog.
Pit bulls are extremely cute. And we might
have a bad reputation, unfortunately, because of poor owners.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, is that I have told Andrea that she can never get a pit bull. It's not that she's a bad owner, it's that she's not the boss.
Yeah, you have to dominate them.
Yeah, I could own a pit bull. Oh, do it. Do it, Howard. Do it. It's Wood. He won't watch this stream. He'll never know.
And a giant red rubber ant from Amazon.
Oh, yes. They aren't careful. He might send Jordan and Donnie a wooden kit. Wonders would left it in to see. Wonders would Jen. Oh, would you do a wooden kit, Jen?
No, I mean the book nook I like. As for the other, stuff, it's just I find it interesting to watch. I don't know if I'd want to get into that side of things.
To be honest, a wood kit, your ones like this,
yeah,
are a lot of fun and not hard.
No, and they don't look like it either. They don't look like it. They're that hard. The parts aren't generally that small compared to some model kits.
Yeah, it's your ships on wooden ships. It's the rigging and the planking that is a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
which is what I love about the Calypso, because the Calypso has very little rigging and a plastic hull.
Yeah, Ken would need another basement for his wood stash. After kicking things out of my basement, like, I don't need a washer and dryer and a water heater and a furnace. What would I need those for? I'm only living in Canada.
It's only Canada.
What do you need a furnace for?
Yeah.
Just because, some days I've been known to dip down to minus 50 in the winter.
That's not so bad.
Which is the same if it's, Fahrenheit or Celsius.
No, minus 40 is.
I thought it was 50, but okay.
No, it's minus 40. And the funny thing is, you are right. Minus 50, minus 60, minus 70. In no matter what the scale is, it's all pretty much the same. Just too damn cold.
Yeah. Actually, I had my furnace go a couple of years ago, just in November when it was starting to get cold, and had to wait I think I had to wait 3 days for them to come in and put one in. I tell you, that was cold.
Yeah.
Extra blankets on the bed.
What's funny, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this. Have you ever experienced where it goes up by 30 degrees overnight?
The weather?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe once, maybe. I've seen the reverse.
Oh, drop 30?
Yeah.
That sucks out loud.
Yeah.
In Fairbanks, about once a year, there's it's when a Chinook wind comes in or something. Something will flip in the environment, and it'll go up 30 degrees overnight.
Yeah.
From 60 below to 30 below.
Yeah. I'd see more of that in like places like in further west of where I am now.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because one year I was up there in college, and it did that flip, and we're all out there in shorts going,
Yeah.
man, it is nice. You only do that for about 10 minutes, and then you realize, wait, it's still 30 below zero out here.
Yeah. Let me start reading some more here. Let's see here. Oh, 8B part metal 2.
Yeah, the rocket would be a good one.
That's right. If times got tough and cold, you could always burn a wood kit. Well, I do have a fireplace in my house, but it doesn't work. Like it's plugged off from the previous owner. And I've had some bad experiences in stuff I've seen and scenes I've gone to with fire. So I'm not keen on fire that much these days anymore. So
We have a gas fireplace in our living room, which we don't use, and in our bedroom.
Okay.
And when we had the power outage and it started getting cold in the house, I tried to light the stove upstairs, and it just said, nope, you haven't used me in 6 years. I ain't working today.
Let's see here. Donnie says, wood kits do look fun, but there's so much time involved in waiting for the glue to dry. With the time I have to model, I probably wouldn't get but about 3 parts glued together each day.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm probably going to do the 4th rib on the Constitution today.
And then Donnie says, it does both in Tennessee. We have all 4 seasons in 1 week sometimes. Our weather is schizophrenic. Yeah.
Now, come on, Donnie. You left out the next line. You can't say you're schizophrenic unless you're going to come back with, and so am I.
I'm just gonna throw a photo up here in Discord. Just give me a second. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I minimized it
now?
on my iPad.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to Discord here.
Wait, Ken, you just blocked me.
Let us go to. I'll throw it in general here. Of difference between winter in Canada and the U.S. Obviously, it's a joke, but I mean, there we go. It's up under general.
South be like, oh no, it's the end of the world. Let's shut down everything. Yeah, I've seen that. Hang on. Let me see.
And I've seen cars driving around with snow like that on top.
Yeah. Let me see if it will let me do it. No. Look at that. I can share a screen that isn't even up.
Nice.
Not edit screen. There we go. South is like, oh no, it's the end of the world. Let's shut down everything. That's Texas. That's Texas. And Canada be like, okay, time to go to work.
Yep.
You know the great thing about that though is you go about 15 miles an hour, especially if the roads have been cleared and salted. You go about 15 miles an hour and then slam on the brakes. That'll slide right off the front of the car.
It's also fun if it's not quite that high, just to watch it fly off the car.
Oh yeah. Difference is Canada actually knows how to clear the roads off. Yes.
Yeah. Well, except for maybe the province of British Columbia, you know, especially on the lower mainland area. The further inland in the mountains, they're good, but yeah, kind of right around Vancouver and Victoria, not so much so.
Well, I think isn't British Columbia a lot like Washington these days?
Yeah. I mean, they had the Winter Olympics there. What year was that? 2016 or something, and they didn't even really have any snow for the Winter Olympics.
Well, that's the thing, is that I've been through parts of Canada and loved the Yukon. And it's kind of funny because your river, I think the Yukon flows from Canada. The Yukon River is one of the rites of passage to being a true Alaskan.
Yeah.
Yes. One of the rites of passage to being a true Alaskan is you have to pee in the Yukon River.
Well, there you go.
I've done that.
I believe it's Highway 83 goes from Alaska all the way through Canada and then all the way down to Texas at the border of Mexico. And it went right by the town I was living in and policing in. Good evening, Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Now, sometimes that Highway 83 twins with other roads. So, you know, it joins up with a more major road for a while, and it's considered as the secondary name of that road.
Yeah.
So for us, it was like Highway 16 and then /83. And then after a while, you know, Highway 83 would turn off from Highway 16 and continue on its own.
So is 83 part of the Alcan?
It must be.
That is still one of the most amazing feats of engineering ever. Dead of winter, building a road across everything, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to dry fit this together, make sure that how it works.
Yeah. Jody says our streets often go a few days before getting cleared. Yeah, isn't that the most fun to drive through? Ooh.
Ours do as
especially
well.
when you don't have a choice and you have to go to work.
Yeah. Our street gets left for a few days simply because we're on a secondary street.
Yeah.
And
same
then
here.
Well, and then what's always fun is when they finally plow right after you've shoveled snow.
And block your driveway in.
Yep.
Yep.
And not just block it, but like put 6 foot thick by 4 foot high wall of ice.
Yeah, I always didn't like it when they decide to dump extra snow onto your lawn there. Suddenly they've put a snowbank on your lawn.
Did I hit my watch time requirement yet? Hang on, let me double check. I don't think so, because if I remember right, I looked yesterday and I went from 3,900 hours to 3,901. Let me get these.
I still have to watch your Iron Spider.
The Iron Spider. That is an impressive build so far. I'm actually really pleased with it. The engineering on it, you can tell that it's a new kit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the ET. The ET engineering is fantastic. Even once I do hit the hours and I can monetize, I will not monetize my streams simply because I agree with Andrew. I would hate to be caught with commercials in the middle of a live stream.
Yeah. Jody says, I'm quite happy to have the privilege of underground parking. No snow on my car.
Yes. Ooh, I'm up to 3,907.
Well, it's gone up.
Yep. But what's really the impressive part is, I've been hitting pretty regularly 28 to 30 new viewers monthly.
Nice.
I started the Constitution and I'm getting 69 viewers a month.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody here in the audience or if Buck, if you watch Phil's his build videos.
I do sometimes.
Okay, because he announced that in his last video there when he was doing this the bust of the sand people, the sand person from Star Wars. He announced that he's just waiting for parts and he's going to start building a Reliant kit once he gets some parts for it.
Oh, very cool.
So I'm thinking he's going to be doing the same kit we are.
Yeah, there's only one size Reliant, I think, right now.
Well, unless you get a garage kit.
Yeah. Which, trust me, the garage kit is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The one to cut the saucer up and then just cut an Enterprise up and then make the saucer into the Reliant.
Right.
Come on, get on there.
And Howard thinks that those extra hours must be from him watching your Bat and RoboCop videos.
Could be. But that's the thing. That's the thing is that I look at it when I do look at it. It's one of these things of it is sporadic.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to break something. Yeah. That's what you do in this type of a situation. You break something. Okay.
The only thing I'd be concerned about Jody is I hope he doesn't do one of those things where he builds it super quick and steals our thunder.
Yeah.
Actually, once we get our 3D parts there, we can get to more of a regular build schedule and get more done. So I can still do, normal length videos, just more stuff getting done in them.
Oh, that's right.
Next steps I'll be able to do is put the lights in.
Donnie says there's two sizes. There is the 1/1000 size.
True. Yeah, we're doing the 1/537. I'm assuming that Phil is not doing the 1/1000. I would assuming because with Will having been there and his videos been coming out with all the 537 parts and stuff he's been designing, I would assume, and that's just an assumption, so I could be wrong. That's what Phil's going to be working on, is the 537.
Okay. This is actually a pretty good stopping point. I'm going to pull the tape off. The roof is not glued. That's where we're going to start next week. I'm going to pop this back out. We're going to actually, let me see. It says, now just looking at this. Next week might be a shortened stream, or I might have to bring something else along because I want to leave the stringers and everything in here like this. next thing it has you do is you glue this, and then you start gluing parts for the front. Or maybe we'll start working on the wheels.
Poor Andrew. He says, "You're stopping already? I only just got here."
Well, Andrew, here's the fix. Donnie, you have the same bad habit. You stop at 9:30. But no, Andrew, what you need to do is tell your kids, I got a stream to watch. You need to be going to bed at 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, Jody says he's had nothing but troubles with his 1000 Reliant.
I think I've got one somewhere.
I just wonder now how it would be if you were to do no extras, no lighting, no nothing. If you were just to kind of slap it together, you know, I would assume it would go together well, especially if you had the proper clear part sprue, which I know Jody
sure
unfortunately didn't.
But big me. Oh wait, I am big. So that's what we got done tonight. Put the walls on. Put the bracing in here. With putting the roof on like this, they had you paint just up to the edge, leave part of it undone. I'm sure I'm going to leave the rest of it unpainted, and I'm going to leave the roof. See, you'll be able to see in there that it's going to be unpainted. Oh, you know what? We can check that. No, actually, it says to leave it alone for a day. The roof is over drying, so we'll leave it alone for a day. I'll take a look at it tomorrow, see how it looks. We've got the door done, the kick panel, and the foot panel. And next week we start on finishing the actual structure of this thing. Blending? What the hell? Not blending. Yeah, shortly, really quickly, the box is going to be done.
Yeah.
And then, well, actually, there's still quite a bit to go in the box.
Well, there we go then.
But then we start gluing and kind of bolting. We'll call it bolting. It's actually gluing the nuts from the leather together. Then we got the axles. Nice red axles. I'll have to do a lot of painting in red.
So for the next video, then, could you not do something separate, such as do the little bit that you were gonna do, and then say start on some of the wheels?
That's what I was thinking. Is that the next stage will be building. I'll take this off, redo it, glue it in place. It says to let it dry off, assemble the roof structure, and then assemble or let it dry off the thing. I'm putting it on because it just seems to me that it would be the best way to do it.
Right.
And then I'll have to figure out something to use as a template, but we can spend an hour or so playing with these. Yay. Yay. I say yay because this is going to be a pain in my behind. Especially because I believe that they have you not completely round them, but they're also not straight.
Right.
It's kind of funny. You look at the wheels, they don't look that significantly different until you look at the posts.
Yes.
The spokes for them.
Yep.
But yeah, that's probably what we're going to do next week. Let's see. Jody said it would be done in a day if you put it together correctly. I believe he's talking about the Reliant.
Yeah, the 1000. Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming by, Ken. It's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this model a lot. It's not 100% simple, but it's not a difficult model at all. I'm really glad I got a hold of it, and I have several of their Western style models. I may stay on a Western style kick because after this one's done, I'm thinking the medicine wagon. Thanks, Donnie. But yeah, so that you see what we got done, and I'm just thinking, got some interesting things coming up because one of the things we have to do is it's not going to be fairing it, but it does say to sand this down. Absolutely, Stephen. I was about to lead into that. We will see. We will be all, or several of us will be on tomorrow. Are you going to join tomorrow, Ken?
Yeah, if I have nothing on the go, I will try to be there.
Okay, you are absolutely welcome to join if anyone's interested. Okay, Jody's going to start in about 20 minutes on the Book Nook. So there you go, Andrew. You got something to watch. So let's run through the lineup because the lineup has gotten huge. We do 7 days a week now on HTM. There's an HTM stream of some sort every night. Tonight we had the Model Mania with me working on this. Tomorrow we have the Woody Wednesday. Yes, Woody Wednesday, where anybody is welcome to join as long as you're working on a wooden kit. Thursday we'll have Jordan. Hopefully nothing will happen at work that keeps him from joining. Friday we have our normal HTM stream. Andrew's on Saturday. Sunday we would do another stream, another group stream, and on Monday we have Donnie painting whatever he happens to be working on. Right now he's working on a tank, I believe it is, a type of a tank for his D&D campaign that he 3D printed. But we have a busy schedule on HTM. We have at least an hour and a half to 2 hours of HTM every night. Really hope you guys can join. And if you're new to the stream, hit us up, hit the Discord. Every one of the descriptions has a link to our Discord and to the Facebook. We'd love to have you join. We love to have people join and bring their skills or their questions to the group, because that's what we're all about, is helping each other out. With that, I'm going to say like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. And this is for anybody who's not already here. But like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post new content. Leave a comment if you're not watching this live. If you are watching this live and you didn't comment, what were you thinking? Anything you want to say, Ken, before we get out of here?
No, I just thanks for guys for coming out.
Yes, thank you very much.
You all.
And take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow, and we will see you on the next video or stream.